If America was such a free and easy place, what was all this infighting and these assassinations created for? It's because they knew that there's a likelihood that some people will get up there and try to change the situation, which is very much the case with Abraham Lincoln and so forth. But they knew that this country, if you work it right, it will still come to you through the Russell Trust, which is nothing but a wing of the British Crown. It's the similar thing as the British East India Company in the East. Well, you might want to call it the British West Company, is the Hudson Bay Company, the Russell Trust, that is in most of the Ivy League universities. I've done this work for years and made reference continually since the day I started to all these other geniuses who speak about the Black Venetians and the incredible overtaking, but never forgetting that these organizations that I'm talking about were also occult in nature. These are the mega occultists. That's why you have the occult symbols you see on the dollar bill. So when people bash me about why I'm into the cult and mention it, so well, what do you expect me to do? As a researcher, if you're going to know what makes these people tick, and you start finding out that they're waiting till constellations are in perfect alignment to make gigantic cosmic stars of David before they'll even sign a declaration of it, I want to know about that. When they're waiting for the planet Jupiter to be in conjunction with the planet Sirius and the planet Spica, I want to know why that is. When they're designing their buildings and piazzas, it's right outside your door and you don't even realize it. These people are going to jobs every day, walking past Atlas, standing stones and obelisks, working for corporations where they don't even know what the logo means. Well, that means that you're complicit. And I forgot to mention that once you're in one of these big mega corporations, it's only a stone throw, isn't it, to changing legalese? Because in order to grab that land, in order to be able to ruin a competition, in order to be able to grab the assets that you require and make your shareholders back in Europe friendly to you, you're going to then become extremely involved in the legalese of the country. And that's where the loopholes really are. It's not in these glowing testaments and documents, even though now finally the truth has come out. It's in the legalese. It's the corporate legalese that is still in operation today, in which through the corporate law, you're able to not only seize land, but impoverish opposition. And so, like Jordan Maxwell has pointed out a million times, the very word bench, where the judge sits on, is bank. The very word currency of the money is actually related to the currencies of the river. It's based on the old Roman and Babylonian and Sumerian, and ultimately in my lexicon, the Atlas symbolism. They know what they're doing. It's right there on the way you sign checks and all the rest of it. And every 10, 15 years or so, they'll pull up their rugs. So here we have Obama doing the same thing. And now tomorrow he'll be promising the green revolution in order to give people a smidgen of hope again. You see, they play these games to perpetually make sure that you don't have the real prosperity. But when you become almost revolutionary, they hand you another carrot. And then after 15 more years, they pull that away. And then the next and the next and the next. And now these bankers, the same descendants of the same families that I'm talking about, have just impoverished the country. How can people be creating forums and bashing what I'm talking about? Are they blind? The whole country has been eviscerated right now as we speak in the last few years by the same banking European interests. And they want you, the people who are going onto the forums, to write, oh, Michael Tsarion hasn't got it. He's a maniac because he's into the occult. These same people who have time to do that are expected by the federal system to pay the bills of the evisceration of their country. What more stupidity exists in this world can you imagine? Well, then you know what people like me can only say, Chris? Is that you deserve everything you get. To those kinds of people, I can say, if that's your level of ignorance, then my God, no wonder that, one thing about sheep, they will be there to be fleeced. And that's exactly what is happening. Because if the person is that dumb and can spend that amount of time, dicking around and causing debates over total minutia, or imagining, standing up with their back as stiff as a board, saluting the flag when they think of the Constitution as some glowing document, when it's the very golden document that the Judases of the world are using to smite you down. They've never allowed America in 200 years the true prosperity. And the moment that it gets a smidgen of it, they're able to open the borders and completely deluge the place with people who do not deserve to be there. They can downsize all the heavy industry. They can bring in their foreign speaking. Half these advisors don't even speak English properly. They're wanted in hundreds of countries for war crimes. You see, they move in on many fronts. This is a war. They bring in their henchmen in the economic world. The Federal Reserve, 14 years tenure for a member of the Federal. It's not even federal in the truest sense of the word. Nobody has a vote on it. They control the president. They control the treasury. They control the governments of the world. They control the banks. And here are people on the lowest level, right? When even this truths are given to them and backed up with incredible evidence. They are so mind-controlled they can't accept that the lies that they've been taught in school and that everybody around them believes, is going to be eviscerated. And I love what Alex Jones is doing on a personal level, his DVDs and videos, and it will take time, and he will himself understand what I'm talking about. But all the rest of them, I couldn't care less what they're into and whether they get it or they don't. That's the problem. The books are there, the research is there, they can get it or they're not going to get it. But a man like Jones, who asks important questions, has done a lot of evolution in his personal life, eventually he's going to come up cul-de-sacs where it goes, no, wait a minute, this doesn't smell right. And then he's going to listen to the John Harrises, and he's going to listen to the great people that speak about the constitutional law, the maritime law. He's going to actually start really getting into that and get into it deeply and say, yeah, they've got us. They've got us by the short hairs there. They really have got this system together. Maynard, John Maynard, there's plenty of scholars. I've listed them all on my Mankind's Future forum thread, all the different links that lead to the injustices that are done through the legalese, you see. And this is the British maritime system that's in place. It's been all over the world. It dates back to the occult origins of things and the very terminology and the words that they use. So my little short film there is, again, only brief. It was done briefly on purpose so that there wouldn't be any digressions. Here's a little piece for people to handle. Go and research it further if they're interested. But it's up to the people of America right now to take their country back. And to do that, you have to deconstruct, to find out that you have wolves in sheep's clothing. You have these Fabian organizations loose in the country. It's not me saying it. It's the highest senators and governors in the land who found out and often were professionally assassinated and compromised because they discovered this. And many of them went on to write books. Many of them were incarcerated. Many of them still are. So it's a very, very important thing. But you know what they do then? They create wars in foreign lands, conflicts endlessly over there, so that the whole of the focus is on over there, so you people don't realize what's going on in their own country. And then come the Obamas and scratch heads and so, yeah, I'm the new guy in town, I'm going to try and fix these foreign conflicts. My God, don't people wake up to see what's been going on?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors. They use the word person, for instance. Person is a legal fiction, but everybody refers to themselves as a person. And if you look at the laws, it's all for persons. It's not for people. It's for persons.
That's right. Yeah. And beautifully that Epperson points out so brilliantly the level of ritual that's involved. They did not come with a gun to the head. They came with a piece of paper. And all they said is, look, we're over here, we're oligarchs. If you don't know that, that's your business. We're tied in with Georgetown University. We're tied in with the Vatican. You don't know that? That's your business. The Vatican has already raped the third world. They've already kept people in a state of unbelievable primitivism. But if you don't notice that and don't think there's anything to that, well, that's all right. But what we've done is we've come to you, the so-called privileged and affluent, and we made sure that only the hardiest stock would get over to run the American land. We made sure that so much death, so difficult to get here, that would cull the herd, and only the strongest, toughest, most deliberate people would get over. Okay, so now 200 years has moved on, but what we've done in the meantime is come to you with a piece of paper and said, look, if you want to be a willing slave, you have rights to do that. We're going to give you lots and lots of rights. In fact, we're going to give you lots and lots of rights. Look how many rights we can give you. So they write all these down, and people just think it's fantastic. But they don't realize that within those rights that they've been given is the right to undo your own rights. The right to walk into incarceration. Like I said, be swallowed by the Leviathan. It's just standing motionless and you swim into its jaws. They worked this wonders. So whoever advised the kings, because I don't think it was George III who came up with this, he was a loony. But you can better believe that these Aaron Burrs on the other side, for all you know, it might have been a creature like Franklin, for all you know. But it certainly was somebody that he was in cahoots with. His big house was right in the center of London. He was affiliated with the Knights Templars. He was affiliated with these people whose symbols are all over America today. People that you say Alex has done fantastic work exposing the Bohemian Society. Who do you think the Bohemian Society are? A bunch of American guys just getting up there to party? No, these are people who have been ensconced by the British system. Their own sons and daughters are married to oligarchs. Rich the Kennedy daughter is married to a lord, a duke. I can't remember his name, but she's of all the children, he had one daughter, and she is literally married to a duke over in England. The rest of the Kennedys were always kowtowing to the British crown, because Joe Kennedy brought them up to be that way. They were Anglophiles, as is Kissinger, as is Eagleburger, as is Weinberger, and as are all these neocons. That's who they are. And so in their documents, they had to say, we're going to make it so that you can become willing serfs. And we'll egg it along by causing so much trauma and meltdown in your lives, both on a federal level where they upped all the people in the Depression, they wanted to unroot all the people from the land, so they were able to do that. They've done that ever since. They've just done it again. And they then say, we'll egg you on so that things are so insecure that what we'll do is when you are now logically aware that it's very difficult to create a business, we've melted down the banks, you can't get loans, the mortgages are too high, and this doesn't just go for America, by the way, this is quite common all over the world. Look what they just tried to do in Iceland. But this is all over the world. And then they say, and the white man, the clever, intelligent, schooled white man goes, yeah, honey, I think it's not right time to invest in some sort of bricks and mortar business now, let's tighten our belts. Well, at the same time, that same government is handing massive loans to foreign immigrants to go in and open those same businesses with no need to pay taxes for 5 to 10 years, which really means a blind eye all the way down the line, and also bonuses to even support you in the early stages. Then they go in, work like Billy O's, and I'm not taking anything from them. Listen, they're not to blame. If somebody hands them something, can you blame them for taking it after where they've lived? Of course not. Nor am I against a certain level of immigration once it's below the normal quota. But what's happening now is through the back door, they're bringing in those people who will pick up the reins. And therefore, you're turning your country into a third world country. You're paying for that. But you will not pay for a white man to do it because these people, these oligarchs, have always been afraid of what the educated middle class will do with their leisure time. Once you've made that money, once you're doing well and you're able to provide for your family, then what will that man do with his leisure time? He'll educate himself. He'll start doing exactly what has been seen in America in the last, well, I don't know, what, 20, 30 years. People get smart. They read books. They write books. They research. They study. They get fascinated with the world. They turn up like a Jordan Maxwell start appearing out of the woodwork. Wait a minute, you're not meant to be like that. We've allowed you the playpen. We've allowed you the privileges. We've allowed you to go to school and learn what we want to tell you. Well, who the hell do you think you are stepping out? Who the hell do you think you are, Eustace Mullins? Who do you think you are, Ezra Pound? We'll put your ass in jail. You're not meant to go any further with the questioning than we demand of you. You work for us, we give you your privilege, and that's all you should be doing. But historically, this has not happened. There's great minds who want to know greater things. So right now, that's a very big threat. So the massive downsizing of the schools and colleges, the massive suppression that you're seeing on the internet, the massive suppression of knowledge, the garbage that's thrown up on magazine, TV, and newspaper from morning till night, the cluelessness of the people that you see posting on these various forums.
Michael.
Unbelievable cluelessness.
Michael,
it is almost laughable if it wasn't tragic.
Michael, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're breaking up a little bit. I'm going to disconnect and reconnect with you real quick. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, wow, Michael was just on a roll. God, I hated to interrupt him there.